Well, good morning. Just getting back into the shop here. I don't know if anybody's checked out our community page, but yesterday, January 26th, we had our little baby girl. So things have been a little bit hectic this last week or so. We've been making some trips to Edmonton for some appointments. And then, just so happened to be that Thursday was the day. So there's been a lack in content, if you will. But, we're really blessed to have, my parents so close, my in-laws so close. My mom and dad have been coming to the farm every day. They even stayed here a couple of nights when we were in the city. So they've been looking after the farm. And then once Corey was gonna be admitted into the hospital, my boy, he went over to my in-laws' place, stayed with his grandpa for a couple of nights, and then Emmy was here with my parents because she's still got to go to school. So really blessed to have everybody around. Makes these situations a lot easier to manage and handle. So what do I got to do today? Well, I got a little bit of a backlog of bags that I got to make, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that going. Then once I get caught up on the bags and the few people that want to pick them up come and get them, then I'm going to load up and head back into town because obviously Corey and the baby are still in the hospital. If everything goes good, they might be able to come home tomorrow, but that's still up in the air. So I'm going to get things fired up so I can get things made quick and head back into town. So one thing I was able to get done, kind of this week, I guess, was getting some grain bins cleaned out, getting my feed bins refilled. I had 2 bins of barley, 2 bins of oats, 1 bin of wheat, and normally that's not the case. Usually we have 5 bins, 5 different grains, which is the way it was last fall. That's how it got filled. So I emptied out one of the oat bins, grain backed it out, and then I filled it with peas. So now I'll have 2 of barley, 1 of oats, 1 of peas, 1 of wheat. And that'll save me driving back and forth up to the vineyard. I just went up to grab this auger that is behind me. Just gonna bring it down. All right. Now this isn't as fancy as the old Brandt ones, I guess. When you go to lift the auger out, there's no foot pad down there. What's happening here? So you have to, if you want to put that jack down in this spot right here, you got to get out and manually do that. So apparently the Rem grain vac is for the peasants and the Brandt is for the elite, from what I've been seeing on YouTube. As far as capacity, I don't know. These things definitely put out 6,000-7,000 bushels an hour, even up to 10,000 bushels an hour out of a full bin. I know when it was when it was brand new, and you got, say, this close to a bin, and you only had to use 1 short steel pipe, you could load a set of Super Bees in 15 minutes. It was just unbelievable. It almost kind of took longer to get everything lined up and then stop the grain back to move to the back trailer than it did, just to fill it. So they are cool machines. I've been kind of both an advocate and a critic of this Rem grain vac. Our 2700 was a better built machine. This VRX seems to need repairs all the time. However, that being said, maybe it's, if you were to do the numbers and figure out how much grain it's actually moved, maybe it's not so bad either. So you move this jack from here over to here, and then forget to put it up and drive away and bend it and break it and do all sorts of other shit. But it's crazy because that doesn't stick out very far, but if you don't put this jack down and you're loading at absolute full capacity with this grain vac, it will fall over. Something like wheat, something really heavy, or peas, it will definitely fall over. But like I've said before in my other video, being, you know, a bit critical of this particular grain back. What do we got on here? 518 hours. We've replaced the big fan that's in here. We've replaced this bottom section of tube, the top section, that long section of tube, the top section twice. This one I just chicken shit welded a part from the old tube over top of it because it had a little hole in it. What else has failed on it? The drum inside, there's a big drum in there that separates the chaff out. Let me open this up, see if I can. Ooh. Okay, so this big drum in here that spins around, we've replaced it because it wore right through. A bit of wheat in there. So that's kind of, I guess, the science of it. There's, this never fills up, this whole red drum. It sucks the grain in and it augers it out as fast as you're putting it in. We've also replaced all of the flighting in 500 hours. So is that good? Is it not good? I'm not sure. I know when you're cleaning out bin bottoms, you're nowhere near that 10,000 bushels per hour, like nowhere near. So, you know, there's quite a few hours where it's just running, you know, doing bin bottom cleanup. So it's kind of hard to put a number of how many bushels has gone through the machine, right? If you were just to say, well, it's doing 10,000 bushels an hour and you got 500 hours on it, what is that, like 5 million bushels? Of course it's going to be worn out, but it's not, that's not the case. There's a lot of hours that it's spent doing bin bottoms. But I'm gonna walk down here now, fire up my grain truck. Hopefully that starts, and then hopefully all the snow falls off the tarp, because I don't want to climb up there and shovel it off because I'm lazy. And then while it's warming up, I'll move my tractor around and set the auger up into the bin, and then well, look at me go. I already got that bin bottom cleaned out, got the truck unloaded, got the grain back switched over to this little bin. Those little bins, they're awful handy for, I mean, certainly a farm our size. Lots of times you're gonna end up with, you know, you'll finish your barley, all your barley acres, and you got like 800-900 bushels or something left. And you don't want to start into a new 2,000 bushel bin or a 4,000 or a 5,000 or 10,000. So you just dump it off in there. So we got those two little guys there. We got this little guy here. They're all under 2,000 bushels. You don't need a million of them. You need basically one for every type of crop you're going to grow. And that kind of gets you out of a jam. I guess the other thing you can do is just build a bunch of 30,000 bushel bins, and then you don't have to worry about it. You just keep filling bins until you run out of crop, and then start another bin. But that's real expensive. These little 1,200 bushel bins, especially flat bottom ones, they're almost worthless today because they're old. You know, they're like 30 years old, 40 years old, and everything has a life. Now, if they've been looked after and they've never blown over and been backed into, if they've had the stiffeners and they've had good floors, yeah, they're still in good shape. But due to the fact that everybody's moving up to larger capacity everything, it just they don't have much of a place anymore, except for, you know, a small farm like ours where you can use it just to handle the overage of crop that you have before you start into the next variety. So this is back to what I was saying about the bin cleanups. You know, it might take you 25, 30 minutes to fill this single axle if you're cleaning up a bin bottom. But if you go to a full bin and only have one piece of steel pipe on this grain vac, it'll take you like 3 minutes to fill it up. It's just amazing. You can see the barley's just boiling out of there. But we're only at like, I don't know, 40 seconds here, and I expect it won't take long to see a pile. Well, good evening. I guess some of it got away from me here, but we got the 2 barley bins filled. Cleaned this bin out. It had oats in it. And then we filled this bin with oats, and now this bin is going to be full of peas. Because, so there's my load of green peas. We use the green peas. They make, I mean, any pea makes really good livestock feed, but we find them, of course, they taste better than forage peas. And, I don't know, they just, even they add color, right? People like color in their feed, believe it or not. So, yeah, we're gonna have 2 bins of barley, 1 bin of oats, 1 bin of peas, 1 bin of wheat. Previous years we did fill one with canola, but the canola goes in at such a small rate, usually no more than 10% of any of the feed. But people put it in, it goes in the chicken feed, people put it in their livestock feed, shines up the coat of cattle. Things like that. Doesn't really go in sheep feed all that much, although people do. And in fact, you know, I was told that you can even, some people fed just canola screenings to their sheep, which is a little bit contrary to what you'll be told due to the copper content. So we just decided that, because, I don't know, I guess I decided because I'm using so little of it that, you know, I can just rip up to the bins. And I'm just trying to see what this machine coming down the road is. It's like a big mystery machine in there behind the trees, driving real slow. Could be the aliens coming, but yeah, because we use such a little amount. Wasn't much point in dedicating a bin to it. The barley, we just fly through that, so it's nice to have 3,000-4,000 bushels down here. Things almost through the trees. What is that thing? It's like a, I don't know, I think it's a grader winging the shoulders into the ditch off the highway.